everybody, I'm Rin Agarwal and I'm going to be reviewing the SBI Magnum Children's Benefit Plan, both the investment plan as well as the savings plan. All of us have these common goals of children's education, children's marriage and retirement. And children's education is a very big goal these days, considering that we all want the best education for our children. There are many investment options on the fixed side that you can look at. Of course, they do come in with pretty long-term lock-ins. So if you were to look at a ULIP or you were to look at a PPF or a Sukanya Samriddhi, most of these come with very long-term lock-ins and limited returns, especially ULIPs or the child plans from insurance companies are very, very limited in terms of returns. One of the instruments that has helped me through my life and which I have used for planning for my children's education is mutual funds. And I do invest in a variety of mutual funds for my children's education. But there are many out there who may not necessarily find it very easy to choose a fund and moreover remain invested in that fund for a long-term period, because you might need the education money only about after 8 to 10 years. But many people sometimes find it difficult to remain invested. It could be because of their emotions, they feel very worried with volatility, or there could be some other requirements for which they actually pull out the money. For these individuals, a good scheme that exists is the solution-oriented mutual fund. And within the solution-oriented mutual funds, you have the children's benefit plans, which are really meant for child education. Now, all child benefit plans have a lock-in of 5 years or up to the child attaining majority, whichever one is earlier. Yes, whichever one is earlier. Now, when I look at the child benefit plans that are there existing at this point, there are a few of them from large fund houses again. And each one of them has a different allocation between equity and debt. So some of them have 65% equity allocation and the balance in debt. Some of them have 100% equity allocation. And there are those also which have very low allocation to equities, maybe in the 20-25% range. So within the categories, there are a couple of funds, but with different types of allocations. If we were to talk about SBI already had the savings fund earlier. The SBI fund is really going to invest in 4 asset classes. They're going to be investing into equities. And within equities, they have also specified some maximum cap in international equities. They're going to be investing in bonds. They're going to be investing in REITs, which is REIT, which is Real Estate Investment Trust. And they're also going to be investing in gold ETF. There are 2 plans. So you have the savings plan and you have the investment plan. The savings plan is more conservative because it has a lower allocation to equity, which is only up to about 25%. The majority allocation is towards bonds, and there is about 10% cap on REIT and gold ETF as well. Typically, the investments that are going to be held in bonds are going to be high quality bonds and government securities. And in equities, it's going to be primarily a multi-cap bias, of course, using the SBI stock picking strategy. In the investment plan, this is a more aggressive plan because it can invest up to 65% in equity, up to 35% in bonds, up to 10% in REIT, and up to 20% in gold ETF. Again, they have given a cap of up to 35% in international equities. So if we were to compare what they had, which is a savings plan, with what now they have come out with, well, firstly in the savings plan, now they have allowed some international equity, and they have come out with a new plan which is much, much more aggressive and suitable if your child education goal is probably long-term in nature. So should you invest in this fund? Well, the solution-oriented funds are typically for investors who are not able to save for these financial goals themselves, or they're not able to identify funds, or they're not able to stick on for the long term. Remember, most of the child schemes that exist are pretty conservative in nature in terms of their holdings. So first and foremost, well, probably if your goal is above 10 years, then a multi-cap fund or a mid-cap fund will also work. But you could also look at some allocation in funds like these as well, especially due to the lock-in that exists. As far as comparing other funds with the SBI funds is concerned, well, I think the SBI fund's advantage is the fact that it's investing into a wider universe of investments. So it's investing in international equities, it's investing in gold, it's also investing in real estate, and that's primarily commercial real estate through the REIT route. So the investor might get benefited because of the fact that there's a wider universe that it's being invested into. So that's my view, folks. Do write in if you have any query. We're always happy to receive your questions. Make sure you click on the bell icon to subscribe, and do watch out for our further videos where we are going to be reviewing a whole lot of mutual funds. Bye-bye.